Hey everyone, it's Book of Catherine, and I just finished wearing these jewels for you in a video right here, and also these jewels for you in a video. And I have been watching your videos. I know they're very hard to find, and YouTube's even better because it's 2020. It's been 4 years since the people who founded YouTube, since the people that didn't want him elected have been doing algorithms to censor him and actually any kind of freedom of speech, literally any kind of freedom of speech off of this platform. So it's been hard to see any kind of people with free thought at all on this platform. But I have been finding you in and out there, and you guys are getting really, really creative with your outfits and stuff, and you're starting to buy vintage, and I can tell that it's vintage or thrift store or whatever, because all of a sudden I'm like watching and I see a new video and I'm like, whoa, like the quality of clothing just went polyester thin China dollar store clothes to pants like they should be in a club, they should be on stage, and I'm like, hello. And then I was like, oh, I didn't teach you how to take care of any of it. Like, I didn't teach you because I take care of my stuff, and I need it. So let me teach you how to take care of it in the time that I have. So, because I was taking care of it, and I was like, I didn't tell you how to do that. I don't think so. Let me show you how I take care of it. And gosh, I'm wondering who I learned it through ballroom, and also my mother. Like, she had, now that I think of it, she had jewelry stacks. I should probably get stacks like my mother had. Wow, my mother had more than I do. I'm realizing my mother had more than I do now that I think about it. Oh my gosh, my mother's top chest of drawers were actually all, as well, my top chest of drawers are all jewelry, and her top chest of drawers were all jewelry now that I think about it. And I never noticed that. And the reason why is her jewelry was so much different than mine. Her style was so different. Her style was all small, like itty bitty small, and so her containers were all small. My containers, like, you can see like here, and now I've learned to stop this. This I feel okay pulling out because it's made in China. Like, this is made in China. I don't buy this anymore. Like, this I got at Michael's. This was on sale during one of the Thanksgiving sales. I got this for really inexpensive at a Thanksgiving thing. But I don't buy any of my containers at places like, I don't do that anymore. I buy my containers now. Like, I get my containers at thrift stores and vintage stores, so that now I get these gorgeous, like, look at that, like these gorgeous felt covered, and it protects my jewelry so much more, if that makes sense. And so I'm really enjoying that. So I look for containers now at thrift stores, and that's what I look for my jewelry, because they're always lined. Sometimes the original container comes with the jewelry that I get. Like, this was the original container. I love that because it says New York, like this was made in New York. It has which is this, what, oh my gosh. No. Look at this. Look at this. My set of jewelry, everyone. Look at my set of jewelry. My set of jewelry that I wore in DC. My set of crystals. Look at the crest on it. Look at it. It says London, Paris, New York. I got it because it said it was made in New York. So I wanted something made in New York, right? Look though, the crest. Made in New York. But the crest is the Queen Victoria and Prince Albert crest. Oh, honey. Honey, baby, boo-boo. Oh, that means that imperialism, oh, snap. Well, I bought it and traded it, but it would be very interesting to see, because, like, the crown jewels it's very, like, this was, like, bought, like, is made in New York, bought, traded, whatever, but I wonder, like, I really like things at the British Museum, like, their crowns kind of freak me out. Anyway, I won't get into that. Ooh, I'm going to have to look into that. I mean, the company's not around anymore, and I mourned that company being gone, but now I'm not so sure. Like, I'm like, I don't know, is that a bad thing? I'm worried now. I'm like, I'm going to have to look into that. So, who am I kidding? Like, this stuff is so much worse. Like, this stuff we know. Where it came from. Like, we know this actually polluted the earth. So, I'm like, I know where this came from. This was from Neiman Marcus, this I got for $100 and something dollars, so I need to take good care of it. So, and I don't buy that stuff anymore. So, knowing where it's made from, but it's made better and stuff. It's just, I do better now. So here's how you take care of it. So I have the box that I originally bought it in, right? And so what you do is you get out, and I need to clean the other one. I need to clean it, and I'll show you how to do that. So what I do is, this is an eyeglass cleaner. So you just get out an eyeglass cleaner. And seriously, you guys, like, look at, you know how much they pay the stars of today. Elizabeth Taylor used to go out and buy jewels for herself. She used to do that. That doesn't happen anymore today. Like, the stars can't afford, they have to rent. They have to rent and have it lent out to them. They can't afford that. That's how, like, they're not paying stars like they used to. Like, the stars have to work harder and get paid less. Elizabeth Taylor was getting paid the house. Isn't that interesting? Richard Burton got her into everything. It's very, very interesting today how things have changed. It's really gone back to the studios of the 1950s, how they forced them to get marriages, do fake things, have fake backgrounds and everything. It's really, really sad. So forced breakups, fake relationships, just like they used to in the very beginning of the studios. So all the freedoms Marilyn got them have been lost. It's really, really sad. So anyway, I don't even know if Marilyn really got them those freedoms now that I think of it. Now all the stuff that we know about Marilyn now, I don't know. We'll have to look more into it. I'm just starting to research it. So anyway, you take this thing and I just wore it today, so I just work my way down it. And then I know it was on my skin, but the thing is that I know that even though it's on my skin, this jewel right here, even though I know it was facing forward, I know I kept correcting it. Like, I kept pushing it and I kept putting it where I wanted it on my body. So I know I touched it. Now, why am I actually doing that? I already cleaned this, so that's why I'm kind of being fast with it. So why am I doing this? Why am I taking an eyeglass cleaner, and why am I actually wiping this off? Like, why am I actually doing that? And, like, I'm not going to, like, just get rid of all of my Chinese stuff and just be like, oh, and throw it in a trash or whatever. I just know to buy ethically from now on. Like, be smart about it. Some of the stuff I have gotten rid of, like some for sure, stuff, whatever, like, but I just make sure to, from now on, like, I'm doing much better. Sometimes I have a break. Sometimes like my therapist, my physical therapist told me my job was to, like, my therapy, he actually said my therapy would have to be going to stores and walking through. He actually said that would be my therapy. I'd need to go to stores and walk through. And so I went to TJ Maxx. And I stupidly walked through. Nope, that was a dumb idea. Dumb idea to actually go to a store and actually walk through. And I was like, couldn't stand it. Then I did it again after Christmas, and I didn't buy anything. I was so proud. I didn't buy a single thing in that entire TJ Maxx. And I rarely do that. I was rarely ever able to get through TJ Maxx without buying a single jewel. And that's why I stopped going to TJ Maxx. I would look at the floor. I always buy some jewelry or whatever. And then China really helped. Like, that was it. I was like, I don't even want to go anymore. I just stopped going, like, forever. Well, no, the finances, I think, got really bad, but it made it easier not to go. Like, then it was just like, oh, it's really easy not to. It didn't hurt at all, like, not going, like, not having the finances to go and not having the mobility to go. It just, that really, sorry, I'm cleaning this now. So now I'm into these, and so I'm just cleaning these with the cloth. Now, here's the reason why you do that. Because our oils, and I'm going to have to clean these as well because I wore them. This is the thing that freaked me out. These I actually made myself. Right here that you see, I actually made these myself. I made a whole wedding party's jewelry. The bride requested that I make them because I've made so much jewelry. She really loved what I made. This is back when Swarovski climate change had not regulated the lead content out of crystals for everyone except for universities and the royals. The royals still get really amazing crystals. Only the regular people like you and I, we don't get the sparkles. Ballroom people don't get sparkles. We don't get sparkles, but the royals, they get lead. They get lead that lets their crystal sparkle. So not us. So what you'll see is we get oil when we put our hands on it, and when we handle it, we get oil on it, or hairspray. Hairspray will actually dissolve. What this is crystal, and it has what's called an AB coating on it. The crystal has this little coating on it that makes it give that iridescent sparkle. You can kind of see that. It gives that little iridescent sparkle. Now you'll see this is Swarovski crystal that they made in the last 20 years. This is actually Swarovski, and then this is the Swarovski crystal. This is the same And you'll see I have to clean it off, but this is also AB, the same coating. And you'll just see the difference is so, well, I'll show you the earrings were preserved better. It's harder to get stuff. You can see do you see the difference in quality? They're the same thing. It's still same plain crystal, plain coating, but this is the plain AB on the side, just plain AB, no crystal underneath it. This is how the AB crystals used to shine for Americans and people worldwide. And this is how they shine now. They're much, much duller. It's just clear crystal, just clear, doesn't sparkle nearly as much. This just goes sparkle, 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 like it can be in the dark and it sparkles. And this has to be lit up for it to sparkle. Like you can see how much more it glitters this side. It's very, very interesting. So anyway, this has an actual dark back on it, so the light can't even go through it, and it's still sparkling. Sorry, I'm a ballroom dancer. I know a lot about sparkle. So anyway, what you're doing is, like, I remember I made for the bride, I did this whole like AB crystals. They've even put even more lead out. Now the Swarovski crystals practically look like plastic. There's no difference to it. They just destroyed the poor Swarovski industry. So Swarovski gets to make it for the royals, and that's it. The royals have their gems, but it's really, really sad. And so if you want them back, ask them to remove the climate change regulations that make absolutely no sense that allow lead back into things. We need lead. It's ridiculous. Lead saves things and makes them pretty, and we have all of it's so ridiculous health and safety standards. This is just the royals saying that the peasants can't have anything pretty. So anyway, so you take this nice little wipe and you go onto it, and it's amazing. They let their universities have it so that they can get their little spaceships going. Isn't that interesting? I'm like, you've got to be joking me. So they can get all their SpaceX things going so that they can travel. I'm like, nice, thanks a lot. So they can get their space programs going. They allow that, just like their helium production. They allowed helium, the climate change out all the helium production in America, except for 2 places. They said, oh, climate change regulations, no helium production, except you can have it in these 2 places. So just the royal families of Germany and the UK could have it, but not Americans. So J-Lo couldn't even have it. J-Lo couldn't give the people of America, it. So you can see that when you wipe it, oh shoot, did I already wipe this one? All right, you can see it. So this one has way more bling now that you cleared it, and this one's kind of dull. All right, so that's what happens is when you get your hands on it and your fingerprints on it, it turns it into this. It kind of makes it all blurry. It makes it all blurry. And what will happen is your oil will not only make it blurry, you can see it just blurs it all out. And it suddenly becomes nice and clean and clear and crystally. It's so pretty once you actually clean it off. You can tell, I can always tell when I haven't cleaned it or whatever. So I'm like, oh, it's all nice and clean and crystally. And I don't even want to put it back on because I'm like, oh, it'll touch skin. And also hairspray is really bad for it. Always put your hairspray on afterwards. But if you put on fingerprints or hand oils or hairspray, it'll dissolve this coating, this AB coatings that's on there, and it'll dissolve it right off. And you don't want to do that. And this is really precious coating. Once it's off, it's off. It'll never come back. It'll never, ever come back. Now, some things don't have this coating. Like this doesn't have any coating, right? It's already in the crystal. And this is like, they have to, these crystals, like, this is exactly what I mean. Like they give it to this stuff. They put a big plastic. That's the only way it kind of shines or whatever. They have to make it super, super big to kind of have any kind of impact anymore. And these are just big, I don't know. It's so bad. You can see it. You can see how bad it's just like, it looks like plastic, doesn't it? They're selling it like it's crystal. It feels like it, but it looks like plastic. And this is after the climate change regulations. Of course, and that's what's really funny is that, China doesn't have the climate change regulations. They just put it down. They say what can be sold here. So they're still polluting the climate. It's still going out there and, ruining the jet stream in China and everything like that. It's still awful. It's just we can't sell it here. I'm like, how is that protecting the environment? Nope, it's just, making our lives more dull, and it increases their profit in depression. Because if you ever find a dress that's covered in Swarovski's crystals, you'll see how that can just kill depression right there. All right, so also the second way that you can take care of your cufflinks and everything. This is an old thing from China, a little storage thing that I might have gotten from Michael's. This is what I took with me. These are the jewels I took with me to Christmas, and I haven't unpacked them yet. I've been waiting till I'm healthy enough to unpack them. See, like I've been healthy enough to sit up all day and sit up and talk to you. I have not been healthy. I've been waiting ever since we got home from DC to have the ability to stretch my arms back and forth. I can't do that. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I cannot go back. It hurts so bad. So, and that's because I'm still having an episode. I have these mini episodes constantly going in certain parts of my neck and my spine, these mini episodes, and I'm learning that that's constantly happening in my spine. So I get to tell my doctors about that. I'm very excited. So that I stand up, I'm like, yeah, I've got some of my legs back, but I can't do all the activities. So I can only hold this up for so long, but I can't reach back and forth. Like my left hand's better than my right hand. But anyway, so I'm waiting till I have the ability to move my hands till my head stops, episoding and kind of having these firestorms, so I can start hanging things. Like this really needs to be cleaned off big time, this necklace, right, that I wore on Christmas. So I wore this necklace on Christmas. I was dying to wear this necklace. See how bad I am at reaching. I was dying to wear this necklace and I never got to. I really wanted to wear this necklace. This is a vintage necklace that I got off of eBay from a store that I trust. I'm learning how much eBay is just robbery. And I don't like, it's just thieves, people robbing from houses. They just check out your house on Google Maps and then they just steal and then sell it. So now I'm really checking out reputable sellers. It's really, I don't buy any, that's where I really just buy from a thrift store. Where people have donated, donate. So anyway, but this is a gorgeous from an actual, licensed consignment shop. Gorgeous from a Hollywood studio. Isn't that incredible? Look at that. I really wanted to wear that. I cannot wait. I know it's meant for something special one day. I know it's meant for something special. Some Hollywood studio set had it. So anyway, but this is really important to store these things when you go somewhere. But as you can see, I have things on these little clips, like stored on these little cards. I have like little, these little, see, these are the earrings that I was bad. See, I was really bad, but I even put them in this protective. These are the earrings I was really bad and caved at TJ Maxx and actually got really, really bad. But I can't believe I did it. And I broke my China promise and I shouldn't have done that. It was really bad. But it's one thing, like, look at that. It's really bad. Really bad. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done, oh my God. I cry. I'm sorry, China. Everything else about us. So, like, I've been really good. Okay, so, like, these, I wore these in DC. These are vintage. And so these, what I'm saying is that all of these cards and all of these earrings here, like, these are all of this is vintage, right? And so this is vintage. So these cards, what I have is, I even have like the vintage, like I even have this. It's so funny. I have vintage rolls for protecting your jewelry. I have jewelry in all of those. And I didn't bring them with me to DC because I was like, I didn't want to ruin those. I don't want to ruin them. And I was like, oh shoot, like I got all this vintage stuff to store my stuff in and then I don't want to ruin it. So I bring my crappy China stuff with me to go to DC. It's funny how much nice stuff I had that I didn't bring with me to DC because I didn't want to get ruined in car. I really need to get a bigger car. I just need to get an RV is what I need. I need to get an RV. I'm like, maybe I should do a GoFundMe for an RV. It would make like traveling so much easier for me to just have a bed and just travel. Like not to be in the back of the car bed, but to just have a bed. That would just make life so much easier. But I don't think there's any RV that has a closet the size that I need. Can we just get an amen? So anyway, so I have little cards like this, and I really like the 1-inch cards because that's really all you need. I think it's a 1-inch card. And then I actually, whenever you see a store selling out, like closing or something like that, I go into those stores. If they're closing out, they always have fixtures. I love it when a store is closing out or when you see a fixture store that does, when they buy fixtures wholesale and they're closing it out. You can see that in like garment districts and things like that. I love buying fixtures. I did that when I opened my own business. When I had my own business, I fell in love with fixtures. You guys know how much I love hardware. I think I fell in love with hardware. Well, my dad did a lot of hardware with me. He's very big on handyman. But I fell in love with hardware when I opened my own business because I did a lot of it on my own. And I just fell in love with hardware then. And then I fell in love with fixtures after that. I really fell in love with fixtures. So I really check that stuff out, and I get like little fixtures. So I get jewelry fixtures that actually have the turnarounds, and then I stick this on it, and then it covers my jewelry up. I have those carousels. Like I have carousels that just do the jewelry, but I've recently gotten ones that actually cover the jewelry up. And I've really needed that since I've gotten vintage, like since I've gotten things like this that are this nice. And that really, really protects the jewelry, because that's why I have things like this. Is probably, this case is where I keep my nicest things. Some of these, like I wonder about some of the, like this stuff is just, these were in like things before they could search them out. Like I kind of grabbed onto some of these bags before they had time to really look through the bags or whatever. They were like, oh, I don't have time, you can just do a grab bag. And I was like, okay. And I ended up getting some things, and I was like, holy smokes, what did I get here? And so I really like look at this, like that, like some really beautiful. And so I keep that in like really, really in these things that I don't put those into a turning carousel, but I do that with earrings. And so when I travel, if I don't have it on a card, I have it in something like this. I just protect everything, you guys. And do you know why I do that? I guess Iris Apfel inspired me to do that partly, but I'm telling you, when I buy a piece of jewelry, especially now, I've been doing it for like the last 10 years, I guess, maybe since money got tight. I definitely didn't do it in college. I guess after I became, a career woman or whatever, and I made a living, and then I don't know, maybe when I got Taste and Style, maybe when I met my friends, or maybe just when I became a champion. I don't know. My memory's not good enough to know. All I know is that at some point, I started buying jewelry for life. I've talked to you about that on Boss Jewelry. I started buying jewelry for life. And once you start buying jewelry and accessories for life as well, scarves for life. Once you start buying things for life, like this is going to be with me for life. I want to have these earrings for life. I can wear these when I'm 89. And I want to be. And that's part of the reason you don't want to buy China. Because I just realized, I probably won't be able to, because these are made in China. Like I probably won't, maybe not. Maybe these weren't made in China. I've never seen anything made in China look like that. Like made that, but like these are really, these will stay with me. Anything made in America and made a long time ago, they lasted its previous owner and previous. I thought it was funny because I realized why TLC does Say Yes to the Dress. What they're pumping, the reason they are pumping these things, why they need to pump it so hard, why they needed John and Kate +8, and why they do the dresses so hard. The royal families, they still do it the way we used to do it. We just wore our mother's wedding dresses. That's the way we used to do it. We used to wear our mother's wedding dresses, or we bought a $60 dress. Watch the 60s. They all wore miniskirts, and then they got married with paper plates at the local church. Weddings were not a big deal because you wanted to put your money into something that lasted. Your land will be with you forever. Your wedding day won't be with you forever. Your wedding dress day won't be with you forever. You won't be looking at that thing forever. Land will be with you forever. Spend $4,000 on your land, on your down payment. Guess who wants that $4,000? Egypt wants it. Iran wants it. The UK wants it. The monarchs want it. And they all own the things. Polyester is what those dresses are made of. And guess what polyester does? BASF. BASF creates the polyester that makes those dresses. That's why all those huge wedding dresses it's all polyester. It's all oil, the oil industry. And that's all BASF, Germany and the UK. And so they push it. So I bet it makes more than 186 per quarter. So when I buy things, I buy it back when it was made to be an heirloom. And then I treat them like heirlooms. I put them in the original boxes. I buy them in the original boxes, and then I hold on to them in the original boxes, and then I store them as such. And I'm trying to get better at storage every day. You can get cork boards on the side. Like that's the old school. We all used to do it. Cork boards. Everyone used to do cork boards and little things like that. I do mesh net. I do like a little V-net, like a net on the side, and hang earrings on the mesh net. There's a bunch of things. You look on Pinterest. There's a bunch of do-it-yourself ways to store your jewelry. I got a swinging mirror that closed over, like a swinging mirror that closed over, and then I put a net behind it where I hung earrings. That way you can protect your earrings. Bunch of ways you can protect your jewelry. And I just can't reach the mirror anymore. But the mirror, like, swung, if you swing the mirror open, there's a bunch of jewelry behind it. So have fun storing your things and keeping them safe so that you'll have them with you forever, and try to buy ethically. It'll change your life. Love you so much. Bye. And when Ricky Gervais yells at the people sitting in the audience, you can say, I'm not one of them, and feel good about it. Bye.